Why do things get weird whenever we get close? Like for sore eyes, an eyesore to a ghost. Counted all the voyeurs in your room. They're just flies simply sent to watch over you.
Hey, thank you for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
I'm here with Joel Exotic.
Joel Exotic.
Yeah, man. How's the Tiger camp going?
Pretty good.
You getting into it?
I posted yesterday. I said I'd probably go Joe Exotic. I'd probably go Tiger King for some weed and records.
Yeah, man.
Not so much meth and tigers.
Well, when you say you would go Tiger King,
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I'd marry a dude.
You'd marry a dude. You'd
yeah.
pretend to be a gay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even really pretend. You'd just be like, yeah, sure, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd get weed and vinyl instead of meth and tigers.
I don't think Joe Exotic has weed or vinyl. Well, he has weed.
Yeah.
But doesn't have vinyl to offer.
No.
Like his vinyl records.
Oh, God. This auto-tune shit.
It came out today that turns out that wasn't him singing.
What?
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know how everybody's shocked about that.
Yeah. I didn't think it even sounded like it when I saw it.
It doesn't sound anything
I was like, that's like the worst auto-tune or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he had somebody else record. It was like somebody else's vocals.
Wow.
But, which, yeah.
First Milli Vanilli and now this.
It made complete sense whenever you would see him in the music video, too. Like, just the way he would, like, his mouth was moving, you could tell doesn't fit the way
he's
the
like
vocals
all over
are.
the top. Like,
yeah. It's the greatest.
Tiger King.
It's the greatest documentary.
That Jeff dude, it's like he stopped watching MTV in 2002.
Jeff. Oh.
The guy that comes in at the end that, like, helps save the ranch. The guy that with, like, the hat and the bandana.
That actually, probably. Yeah, he looks like a roadie for every.
Yeah, I say he, like, stopped watching MTV in, like, 2002. Like, that was the look. What's that Jamie Kennedy movie? Like, he kind of looks like that.
He's
like,
the guy that set up Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Exotic isn't very.
Look, dude, Joe Exotic's out there trying to.
He just wants some love.
Be Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to be committing all these crimes they say he committed.
He just wants love and tigers.
It's an absolute delight of a documentary.
I love how, like, they interviewed the girl first with the missing arm. You're like, did she lose the arm there? Like, you're just waiting for that story to start. Then it starts. Like, all that shit's crazy.
She was dedicated.
Yeah, she's like back to work 5 days later.
And she just wasn't, she was like, hey, I probably shouldn't have stuck my arm in there.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice.
Yeah,
I don't have any
arms.
Yeah. But man, like, there's so much about it that's just like, I keep seeing pictures of things from the documentary that I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, even though they were already, it's all so absurd.
Well, I think you watch it so fast.
Yeah.
Like,
and just things are happening constantly.
Yeah.
You find out that the guys aren't really gay. Although the one got the tattoo right above his dick that says property of Joe Exotic.
And then he went and got covered up and.
Yeah, but then the one shoots himself in the head on accident.
Yeah, and they showed, like, luckily they didn't show that, but they showed the guy watching that.
Yeah, it's just,
and he's just like,
he thinks he's joking at first. Yeah. And it's just one thing after the next of just shit happening.
And like the Doc Allison guy, just everybody. The other Tiger guy that had like 5 or 6 wives.
His name stands for Lord.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He clearly runs a cult.
He pays like $100 a week, I think he said, or something for his workers.
Oh, then like, there's the dude that was a part of the fucking like, cocaine trafficking.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s.
He's like, I didn't kill that guy, but I was there when he was killed.
But they barely touch on that guy's story. And I'm like, there's a whole other story here.
That's season 2, baby.
I really want another season just
I saw where they were going to do a show about that, what's the lady's name?
Carol.
Yeah, they're going to get Kate McKinnon.
Carol. That makes sense. Or they should get, who's the woman that she's on the Goldbergs now?
Whoopi Goldberg?
Reno 911.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoopi. What's the woman's name? She was on Reno 911.
Is she from
She's
the state?
The mom on Goldberg.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know her
She
name.
looks a lot like her.
Yeah, she does.
But yeah, Kate McKinnon. That's her. Like, she's born for that kind of role.
The eyes. God,
Man,
that chick's crazy.
Is awful.
The dude that she's married to is crazy.
That worm-looking guy
with the big old.
He
butt.
looks like Earthworm Jim aged to, like, naturally today. Earthworm Jim's. He's that old now.
Why aren't we watching it right now?
We should be, man. So, but we got other things to talk about.
Okay.
There's apparently some shit going on out in the world.
Right now?
Yeah, apparently.
What?
It's insane.
People keep trying to tell me, but I just keep mouth kissing them.
Right. I just keep getting as close as I can to them and hugging them. I'm like, it's all going to be okay.
It's all going to be okay.
And I just breathe in their
Let
ear.
me spit in your eye.
Yeah, no one's apparently taking this seriously. So, I mean, we're all going to die.
Yeah. I'm taking it kind of seriously. You know?
But enough people aren't.
Yeah.
Like, the death toll is, like, rising daily. And everybody's just like, yeah, but I mean...
We're number one.
We're winning.
It's about the peak.
I do wonder a lot of the times, like, how similar this is to other pandemics and, like, the plague. Like, how many people back then were just like, nah, it's nothing.
Yeah. But back then, like, they didn't have anything close to what we have with, like, just the information being shared.
Right.
I mean, too much information is being shared right now.
Yeah, so we actually have access to a lot of information, and we just don't care.
Yeah. But there's people, like, they may have gotten, like, word of mouth from this person or that, but I mean...
That's the problem. They got too much word of mouth.
I love a good word of mouth.
They got mouth speeches.
Kyle, I was at the park 2 days ago. And maybe 3 days ago, I don't know, but I was there.
Time
and
doesn't
like,
matter
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, it really doesn't. And it was people were playing basketball, full 5-on-5 game. I mean, just dudes just sweating, just pounding up against each other, and they just went back the next day. Rims were down.
Oh yeah, there's people. My mom works at Home Depot, and she said today it was like it was Black Friday in there.
Yeah,
it was just people. It was so crowded, people everywhere.
I would not. I go to the local Kroger just because it's close to my house, but I can get in and out of there pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's not super packed. There's a local gym that I think is still operating.
Oh, it is.
They try to be slick by putting paper up over the windows, and they're parking in the Family Dollar lot. Like, I was there the other day, and there had to be 15 people inside there.
Wow.
I mean, because I was like, goddamn, Family Dollar is packed. And I was like, well, I got to get shit. So I went in there, and they're empty. And I was like, why are there 12 cars outside? And then I saw, like, 3 dudes, like, park and walk over together.
Wow.
Like, they're so slick, those guys.
I mean, I don't know what gym you're talking about.
I don't either, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like, really, like, where are those dudes going to go after that? And, like, that's...
Yeah, because then they go and spread shit.
Yeah, like, it's not worth that, man. Just stay home and run.
Yeah, I was like...
I can't say anything because they're really strong.
Well, they're there.
I mean, I say something to you and our listeners, but...
Yeah.
They don't
and
know
then
what
I'm
we're
going to go
talking
there
about.
tonight and just yell things.
You should.
Yeah. And then whatever
Isn't that
happens,
crazy,
happens.
though? Like,
It's
I
stupid
feel
is
like
what it
I
is.
feel like if I was still going to any gym... Because right now I don't. I run and, work out at home. I have been. But if I was going to a gym, I think I would be okay with not going for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because, like, gyms are kind of cesspools.
Oh, dude, that's one of the like, when this all first started, before anything even, like, started getting shut down anywhere in the U.S.,
Yeah.
one of the very first things I thought of was, man, like, gyms have got to be the worst place because everyone grabs the same stuff.
Yeah, you're all walking around. You're all, like,
Constantly.
breathing hard, like, because you're
Sweat
you're
on
putting
everything.
up weight, I mean, it's...
Half the
jeez.
shit doesn't get cleaned off.
No.
But yeah, so... Yeah, whatever gym you're talking about.
I don't, yeah.
They should be
I
more
can't
responsible.
remember. They should be.
Like a bunch of monsters. A bunch of fucking stupid monsters.
Oh, my God.
Idiots. Savages.
Stupid idiot savages! All right.
No, but yeah, like, I just go right up the street.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a grocery store here, but, like, I try to go later in the evening.
Yeah.
When I figure everybody's... And then, like, I ran to the pharmacy today, but went through the drive-thru for that. Like, yeah, I've been working
I'm not
from
touching
home.
anybody.
You just, like, what do you, like, you work for, like, an eye care place, right?
Yeah, we worked we're pretty much down to me and my manager because everyone else I work with are, like, over the age of 60. And either
Yeah.
they're, like, and they've had, like, health issues in the past or their husbands have had it. So, like, they don't feel
Right.
comfortable working. And, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's just, like, gets in your mind at an early age. You got to work. You got to make money. You got to work. You got to make money. It's like if they're open, I want to be there. Luckily, they were closed Thursday and Friday. We're going to be in there Monday for a couple hours. I mean, now Trump just passed something where you can get unemployment for $600, or you get a stimulus $600 a week plus your unemployment.
Oh, really?
Dude, that's like twice what I make, But I mean, I'm kind of am essential because people do need their glasses.
Right.
I would like to be there to help people like with that can't, broken glasses, need their, but maybe just 2 days out of the week.
I do think there needs to be, like
Monday, Wednesday or something.
Like how Home Depot's open. I think there should be 3 days a week maybe,
Yeah.
and like a window of time.
Yeah.
So and you have to call ahead and reserve something.
Yeah.
So like if you need something, there's somebody at the store that you can call, reserve it.
Yeah.
You can come in at a designated time.
Like, don't come in and try to get glasses like picked out
Right.
and made or something.
Well, with like Home Depot, there's just people there just because they don't have anything else to do, so
Yeah.
they're just hanging out.
yeah, they're working on home projects. They're like, well, now we need this for our home
Right.
project.
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was out running today, 6.3 miles. Thank you. And I noticed a lot of people outside working. I mean, of course, it's a really good day too.
Right.
But it's just crazy, like all the people at the park and just in their yards working, like working on stuff, and it's like as bad as all this is, like it's kind of cool in a way, I guess. Just to, I mean, I
think it's showing ignorance more than anything.
really.
I think it's exposing the ignorance.
I think the park definitely, because you still see
And the,
large groups of people. But like working out in your yard, I mean, you can't stay inside the whole
right, yeah,
time.
if you're in your yard, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're doing something like containing yourself to within your area.
Yeah.
Like I think going other places though, and potentially exposing people or getting exposed to it and then taking it and exposing it to more people is shitty. But
like when I went to the park, we walked distance, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's not there was like 2 of us, so
well, I mean, I feel like we have a fucking stupid president that made it, that basically put it out there at first that as soon as warm weather gets here, it's all fine.
yeah,
I mean, he kind of put that notion out there.
yeah,
It was early on before we really knew anything, but still, like, so now there's still people that are like, well, it's nice out, so the virus is dead here.
yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting to me how many businesses are considered essential right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I don't, other than a sit down restaurant and
Dunham's is open
dude,
because they sell guns.
Jesus
That's what.
Christ.
Yeah, I went in there the day before the lockdown. I went in to get new running shoes because I needed them, and Dunham's was open. And they were like, "Well, actually, we're still open tomorrow too." So I was like, "Really?" And when I got in there, I asked the lady, and she said their gun sales for the last month has been the best sales for guns and stuff that they've had since they've been there.
Yeah, because shit goes south.
Yeah, people are getting toilet paper and guns.
Like, other than I think sit down restaurants, and there was something else that there's only like 2 things that I feel have been deemed non-essential.
Movie theaters.
Gyms, movie theaters, like sit down restaurants. But like, everything else, people have figured out a way to be like, well, I mean, I could need something.
Yeah,
though.
Go-Mart's open. Like the one by my house is open, but
all the gas stations.
You can't go inside at Go-Mart.
Oh, can you
like,
not?
They have like the little window thing there. And,
Speedway still.
Yeah.
You can go in and out freely.
I don't like going in places. I mean, I just go in. I try to just keep my hands to myself. I grab the things I need, and I get out. I sanitize, and as soon as I get home, I wash my hands. Like I had Lily the last 2 days. We didn't go anywhere but the park.
Right.
You know, like we worked out in the apartment yesterday. Just her and I went for a walk. And it's just
how much she benching now?
she's yogaing and
she's deadlifting about 500, I'd say.
5-10 pounds. Yeah,
5-10 pounds.
Yeah, 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah,
we wrote a joke.
I saw the joke. You wanna try it out?
What do toilets eat?
I don't know, man.
Pooperoni pizza.
That's good. That's good.
Lily wrote the pizza part. I tacked on the pooperoni. She's like, hey, Dad, what do toilets eat? Pizza.
I think you should start crediting her with more of your jokes.
Yeah.
To take some of the heat off yourself.
People are like, that's so dumb. Like a 9-year-old wrote it? Oh, right, cute. Right. Like, but why is she talking about her dick so much? Like, I don't know. Kids, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, you are the white Steve Harvey. So. But, all right. Well, what? How am I going to? Okay, so are you into any conspiracy theories? Like, are there any that you buy into more than others? Do you buy into a lot of them?
I don't know if I buy into any of them, but I keep my mind open to all of them. Except for Flat Earth. Fuck off with that.
Yeah, right.
But, like, I've seen the 9/11 was an inside job, and then, like, even, like, the Pearl Harbor was an inside job.
I've actually never heard that one before.
Oh, yeah. You can look at that where, like, they knew that shit was coming, and there's been, where they, had meetings about should we warn them. And
right.
But, again, it's shit on YouTube, you see, I mean, I don't get into a bunch of 9/11 is probably the big conspiracy one. Like the space one, I never really bought into. Landing. Yeah, that it was faked. But I mean, it could be, and if it was, I wouldn't. I'm not like really invested enough in anything to really be on either end of like it's definitely true or it's definitely false.
The reason I ask
is that a good answer?
yeah. The reason I ask is because tonight's story, there's a dead person in it.
Cool.
Probably murder.
Is it me?
It's you. It's going to be you.
Okay.
But it's
It opens up with opening up a demolition 3-pack.
I've got cameras strategically placed throughout this room.
Good.
But yeah, there's a little bit of conspiracy to it. This is a little bit different than what we normally do. I would say as far as stories go, because we really don't know. This isn't like a really brutal murder. This is just a dead body with some weird shit going on. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to go and get into it,
let's do it.
All right.
Paint me a picture.
Before we get into it real quick,
I
forgot. Let me do this real quick. We are now on Apple Podcasts, which used to be called iTunes. I didn't realize they changed it.
Okay.
But so that's Apple Podcasts now. We are on there, so go and subscribe.
Get on your iPhone.
Yeah.
There's like 11 different versions.
There's a shitload.
Yeah.
Rate the episodes. Subscribe to us.
Rate me.
Share. And then we're on Anchor.fm, of course. Spotify, Stitcher Radio. I'm sure there's more that I can't think of right now.
SoundCloud, is that a thing?
We're not on SoundCloud. We used to be on SoundCloud.
I should talk through this part.
Yeah, so we're on some things. So share it. We've picked up some new listeners lately. It seems like everything's picking up. I was telling you, we got a presence in Oregon.
Cool.
Which I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. Hi, Oregon.
Hello.
Australia.
Good day.
They tuned in for the emu episode.
Nice.
This story actually that we're going to do tonight, it takes place in Australia as well. So, yeah, we're going to take a break there real quick.
Okay.
We're going to hit the ad break because we haven't done one of those in a while.
Okay, yeah.
Joel's going to go pee in the corner.
Okay.
It's his designated corner.
Yes.
And we'll be back with the story of the Tamam Shud.
Tamam Shud. Bless you.
All right, and we are back.
That was like 3 hours.
Yeah, we actually just fell asleep.
I peed twice.
We took a nap. Joel peed his pants. Don't let him tell you did.
Oh, I did.
He did.
I did.
Quit lying to the people. All right, so tonight's story takes place on December 1st, 1948.
Ooh.
At 6:30 a.m.
Bright and early.
The police were contacted after the body of a man was discovered on Somertan Beach near Adelaide, South Australia. The man was found lying in the sand across from the crippled children's home.
Oh.
That's the name of it.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like a
being a
derogatory.
Yeah.
That's the name
That's
of
where all
it.
the cripples are going.
Which was on the corner of the Esplanade and Bickford Terrace. Esplanade being a very
Australian term.
Maybe Esplanade. It's the Esplanade. He was lying back with his head resting against the seawall, with his legs extended and his feet crossed. It was believed he had died while sleeping. An unlit cigarette was on the right collar of his coat, and a search of his pockets revealed an unused second-class rail ticket from Adelaide to Henley Beach, a bus ticket from the city that could not be proved to have been used, a narrow aluminum American comb, a half-empty packet of juicy fruit, chewing gum. Shout out to
I like
Juicy
to think
Fruit.
that it's half full. Maybe not for this guy, because he did.
A half-full packet of
Thank you.
juicy fruit chewing gum.
The juiciest.
An Army Club cigarette packet.
God damn, do you have cargo pants on?
He had a lot of pockets, or just a lot of things stuffed into pockets. His pockets were expanding out.
Someone with no pockets killed him. They're like, look at you. You think you're all that with all your
Fancy
pockets. Figured it out.
An Army Club cigarette packet containing 7 cigarettes of
a piano bench
of a different brand. So that's weird.
He just collects different.
No, it's so the 7 cigarettes were say Marlboros.
Yeah.
But they were in an Army Club cigarette packet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And a quarter full box of matches. Witnesses who came forward.
See, no, that's a quarter empty box of matches.
You just want so you're not a positive thinker. You're just you just want the opposite of whatever.
Well, I mean, if it's only a quarter, then it can't be full. Like half can be full, but if it's under half, then it's that empty.
All right, well, we can get into the math. We can get into the math of things later.
I'm flipping tables. No, we're doing it now. Okay, sorry.
Witnesses who came forward said that on the evening of November 30th. By the way, I had to. I got this from a British person or a European person. Clearly, typed this originally. So I
thought you talked to him. They gave it to him.
So I had to go back through and the way they would type it out would say witnesses who came forward said that on the evening of 30 November.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had to change all that.
You're so dumb.
What is wrong with them?
Unless you're listening over there, thanks, man.
Yeah, if you're listening over there, we're sorry that we bastardized the
yeah,
language.
it's not their idea to
it's
do
not.
the date like
Yeah,
that.
it might be, though.
They just don't know any better because they're dumb.
Savages. On the evening of November 30th, they had seen an individual resembling the dead man lying on his back in the same spot and position near the children's home,
I remember all them pockets.
where the corpse was later found. A couple who saw him at around 7 p.m. noted that they saw him extend his right arm to its fullest extent and then drop limply. Very Bernie, Weekend at Bernie's.
Was that the third time? Was the match over?
Right, then the ding, ding, ding.
He started hulking up right after that?
No one's ever actually had, other than against Brutus Beefcake, no
Yeah.
one's arms ever fell 3 times.
Yeah.
So he hulked up. Another couple who saw him from 7:30 to 8 p.m., during which time the streetlights had come on, recounted that they did not see him move during the half an hour, although they did have the impression that his position had changed. So maybe a ghost
Yeah.
or a shapeshifter.
Or he just slumping.
Or he's just tired, man.
Stuff settling in his body after he dies.
He was full of bugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
The bugs get out and then he slumps down.
Full of rabbits.
Oh.
There was 12 rabbits in this man's body.
Rabbits and water.
And cigarettes. Although they commented between themselves that it was odd he was not reacting to the mosquitoes, they had thought it more likely that he was drunk or asleep and thus did not investigate further. One of the witnesses told the police she observed a man looking down at the sleeping man from the top of the steps that led to the beach. Witnesses said the body was in the same position when the police viewed it. Another witness came forward in 1959 and reported to the police that he and 3 others had seen...
10 years later?
Yeah, so that was in 48, and then 59, 11 years later. He and 3 others had seen a well-dressed man carrying another man on his shoulders along Somertan Beach the night before the body was found. According to the pathologist, John Burton Cleland, the man was of British appearance and thought to be aged about 40 to 45. He was in top physical condition. He was 5'11" tall, with gray eyes.
Oh.
Which I didn't know gray eyes were a thing.
No, wolves, maybe.
Wolves. Is this man maybe, a werewolf?
Yeah.
And he was shot by a silver bullet? Or maybe if you see gray eyes, it's...
Maybe he did. And
he has the corona.
Yeah.
So this man started the coronavirus.
In 1948.
He had fair to ginger-colored hair, slightly gray around the temples, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, hands and nails that showed no signs of manual labor.
He's a pretty boy!
Big and little toes that met in a wedge shape, like those of a dancer or someone who wore boots with pointed toes, and pronounced high calf muscles, consistent with people who regularly wore boots or shoes with high heels or preferred ballet.
Does it say anything about his dick?
I don't know
his
yet.
His pee hole?
He was dressed, he had a gray pee hole. He was dressed in a white shirt, red, white, and blue tie. Go America!
Yeah, USA.
Brown trousers, socks, and shoes.
Well, they weren't brown to begin with, but then you die and you shit yourself.
Yeah, you do.
It's all in your pockets.
A brown knitted pullover and a fashionable gray and brown double-breasted jacket.
It's a cardigan, but thanks for asking.
Of American tailoring. All labels on his clothes have been removed. That's weird.
Yeah.
And he had no hat, which was unusual for 1948, and he had no wallet. He was clean-shaven and carried no identification, which led police to believe he'd committed suicide. Finally, his dental records were not able to be matched by to any known person. An autopsy was conducted, and the pathologist estimated the time of death at around 2 a.m. on December 1st. So that morning he would have died a few hours before he was found.
They found him about 4 hours later.
Yeah.
4.5 hours later.
The autopsy also showed that the man's last meal had been a pastry eaten 3 to 4 hours before death, but tests failed to reveal any foreign substance in the body. The pathologist concluded...
No rabbits?
No rabbits.
Damn.
He concluded, I am quite convinced the death could not have been natural. The poison I suggested was either a barbiturate or a soluble hypnotic. Although poisoning remained a prime suspicion, the pastry was not believed to be the source of the poison. Other than that, the coroner was unable to reach a conclusion as to the man's identity, cause of death, or whether the man was seen alive at Somertan Beach on the evening of November 30th, or who was seen alive on the evening of November 30th was the same man, as nobody had seen his face at that time. The body was then embalmed on December 10th, 1948, after the police were unable to get a positive identification. The police said that this was the first time they knew that such an action was needed. On January 14th, 1949, staff at the Adelaide Railway Station discovered a brown suitcase with its label removed.
Like his clothes.
No one enjoys labels in this story.
Nope.
Which had been checked into the station cloakroom after 11 a.m. on November 30th, 1948.
Maybe it's like mattresses. Like you remove the label, they kill you.
You go to prison. It was believed that the suitcase was owned by the man found on the beach. In the suitcase was a red dress or a red gown, a size 7 red felt pair of slippers, 4 pairs of underpants, pajamas, shaving items, a light brown pair of trousers, an electrician's screwdriver, a table knife, a pair of scissors with sharpened points, a protective sheath for the knife and scissors, and a stenciling brush as used by officers on merchant ships for stenciling cargo. Also in the suitcase was a card of orange waxed thread of an unusual type, not available in Australia. It was the same as that had been used to repair the lining and a pocket of the trousers the dead man was wearing. All identifying marks on the clothes had been removed. Police found the name Keane, Keane, on a tie. Keane was also written on a laundry bag. And then Keane, without the last E, was written on a singlet that the man had.
He's a wrestler?
Apparently so. Police believe that whoever removed the clothing tags either overlooked these 3 items or purposely left the Keane tag on the clothes, knowing that this was not the dead man's name.
Yeah.
With wartime rationing still enforced, clothing was difficult to acquire at that time. Although it was very common practice to use name tags, it was also common when buying secondhand clothing to remove the tags of the previous owner or owners. What was unusual was that there was no spare socks found in the case, and no correspondence, although the police found stencils and unused stationery.
Did they check his cell phone?
1948, Joel. Not
Okay.
1947.
I was kidding.
1999. A search included that there was no T. Keane missing in any English-speaking country, and a nationwide circulation of the dry cleaning marks also proved fruitless. In fact, all that could be garnered from the suitcase was that it had been manufactured in the United States. The coat had not been imported, indicating that the man had been in the United States or bought the coat from someone of a similar size who had been there. Police checked incoming train records and believed the man had arrived at the Adelaide railway station by the overnight train from either Melbourne, Sydney, or Port Augusta. They speculated he had showered and shaved at the adjacent city baths, which apparently used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me. Just like city bathrooms where you could just go and shower.
Yeah. With everybody else.
This is why we have disease. Where am I at here? So I'm wrong. Although named city baths, the center was not a public bathing facility, but a public swimming pool. The railway station bathing facilities were adjacent to the station cloakroom, which itself was too many adjacents to the station's southern exit on North Terrace. However, the bathroom facilities were not available on that day.
So he went to the pool.
Yeah, so he showered in the pool. A investigation into the death conducted by coroner Thomas Cleland commenced a few days after the body, but was adjourned until June 17th, 1949.
Eesh.
The investigating pathologist re-examined the body and made a number of discoveries. He noted that the man's shoes were remarkably clean and appeared to have been recently polished rather than being in the state expected of the shoes of a man who had apparently been wandering around the city all day.
You're a pretty boy.
He added that this evidence fit in with the theory that the body might have been brought to the beach after the man's death, accounting for the lack of evidence of vomiting and convulsions, which would be the 2 main reactions to poison.
Yeah.
He speculated that none of the witnesses could positively identify the man they saw the previous night as being the same person discovered the next morning, which gave more truth to the possibility that he had died elsewhere and been dumped there. He stressed that this was purely speculation, as all the witnesses believed it was definitely the same person, as the body was in the same place and lying in the same distinctive position. A professor of physiology and pharmacology testified that a group of drugs were extremely toxic, and a relatively small oral dose would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to identify if it had been suspected in the first place. He gave the coroner a piece of paper with the names of the two drugs. The names were not released into the public until the 1980s, as at the time they were quite easily procurable by the ordinary individual from a chemist without the need to give a reason for the purchase. The drugs were later publicly identified as Digitalis and Uabane, both of which are cardiac stimulants. So one of these were probably in one or both of these were probably in this guy's system.
They didn't want to release it because then people were like, that's all you need to kill somebody?
Right. And apparently it's hard to track it down.
Yeah.
He noted the only fact not found in relation to the body was evidence of vomiting. He then stated its absence was not unknown, but that he could not make a solid conclusion about poisoning without the evidence of vomiting. Hicks stated that if the death had occurred 7 hours after the man was last seen, it would imply a massive dose that could still have been detected. So, things are going to get weird here in a second, though.
Uh-oh.
Because during the investigation, a tiny piece of rolled up paper with the words Tamam Shud, Tamamshud, printed on it was found in the pocket sewn within the dead man's trouser pockets. Public library officials.
It was a pocket within a pocket?
Yeah, like there was like a little
hidden.
So like on jeans,
yeah,
the little they call it a fob pocket, I think.
Yeah.
It's that little tiny pocket
That's
right above your bigger one.
Yeah.
Your tiny little 1-inch knife.
Not here, but in my other jeans. Yeah, my knife will fit in there.
The little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was picturing like a big buck knife or something.
No, I just have a little pocket knife. I always keep that thing on me.
It makes more sense that it's a pocket knife.
Yeah.
Public library officials called in to translate the text identified it as a phrase meaning ended or finished, found on the last page of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The paper's verso side was blank, so the back of the page was blank. Yeah. Police conducted an Australia-wide search to find a copy of the book. A photograph of the scrap of paper was released to the press. So instead of the book being printed with text, so the book that it came out of, whereas most of the copies of the book had normal printing on both sides of the page.
Oh yeah.
This copy, for some reason, would have only had printing on one side of the book.
That's weird.
Or one side of the page.
Yeah.
Following a public appeal by police, the copy of the Rubaiyat from which the page had been torn was located. A man showed police a 1941 edition of Edward Fitzgerald's translation of the Rubaiyat. Detective Sergeant Lionel Lean, who led the investigation, often protected the privacy of witnesses and public statements by using pseudonyms. Lean referred to the man who found the book by the pseudonym Ronald Francis, and he has never been officially identified. Francis had not considered that the book might be connected to the case until he had seen an article in the previous day's newspaper. On the inside back cover of the book, detectives identified indentations from handwriting. These included a telephone number, an unidentified number, and a text that resembled an encrypted message. According to statements by police, the book was found in the rear footwell of a car at about the same time that the body of the identified man had been found. There is some uncertainty.
I don't trust books.
I never have.
I never have, and I never will.
I only have so many of them because I want to keep an eye on them.
Yeah,
you know
keep
what I mean?
your enemies close. Your friends close. Your enemies
That's right.
closer.
If they get out of line, they know what happens.
Yep.
Burn barrel.
Let's try books.
Nice try, books. One newspaper article refers to the book being found about a week or two before the body was found. Former South Australian police detective Jerry Feltis reports that the book was found just after the man was found on the beach. The timing is significant as the man is presumed, based on the suitcase, to have arrived in Adelaide the day before he was found on the beach. If the book was found 1 or 2 weeks before, it suggests that the man had visited previously or had been in Adelaide for a longer period. Most accounts state that the book was found in an unlocked parked car in the city, either in the rear floor well or on the back seat. The handwriting found in the back of the book. Here's the handwriting found in the back of the book. And it's assumed that this is some sort of text.
Yeah.
Code.
Yeah, because there's no spaces or anything.
And it's just a random assortment of letters.
Yeah. Even by Australia terms, that don't make no sense.
So, yeah, the theme of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam is that one should live life to the fullest and have no regrets when it ends.
Hell yeah.
The poem's subject led police to theorize that the man had committed suicide by poison, although there was no other evidence to back the theory. The book was missing the words Tamam Shud on the last page, which had a blank reverse, and a microscopic test indicated that the piece of paper was from the same book that they had found.
Yeah.
Also in the back of the book
weird.
were faint indentations representing 5 lines of text in capital letters. These were what we just looked at.
Yeah.
The second line had been struck through, a fact that is considered significant due to its similarities to the fourth line and the possibility that it represents an error in encryption. So the top line that was found in this are just the letters WRGOA, BABD, and then the second line is MLIAOI, and then they have a mark through it. The third line is WTB, IMPANETP.
PP.
Fourth line, MLIABOA, so they're saying that the second line started that, but then they messed up.
Yeah.
So the fourth, again. So then the fifth line is ITTMT, SAM, STGAB. In the book, it is unclear whether the first line begins with an M or a W, but it is widely believed to be the letter W, owing to the distinctive difference when compared to the stricken letter M. There appears to be a deleted or underline of text that reads MLIAOI. Although the last character in the line of the book that looks like an L, it is fairly clear on the closer inspection of the image that this is formed from an I, and the extension of the line used to delete or underline that line of text. On the other, L has the curve to the bottom, blah, blah, blah.
Letters, man.
There's also an X above the last O in the code. Yeah, you can see, like, the little... right here, like they put like a little X for some reason.
Huh. Like they were marking that or something,
Yeah.
or then they crossed it all out.
And it is not known if this is significant to the code or not. Initially, the letters were thought to be words in a foreign language before it was realized it was a code. Code experts were called in at the time to decipher the lines, but were unsuccessful.
Code breakers?
Code. That was a good show. Was
Chris
that a show?
Jericho? I don't know. I was saying code breaker because Chris Jericho, that's what he called his.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, he did, yeah.
backstabber. They didn't
I think it was or maybe it was just like some special they had on, like a true crime thing where they...
Sorry.
Why did he call it the code? That's weird. Oh, because he had like the whole like...
He was the Y2J.
Yeah. In 1978,
Wrestling!
following a request from the ABC TV journalist cryptographers, which I always think is like such a... like, to me, that would be such a cool job. You're just looking through lines of text and you gotta figure shit out from it.
It's like puzzles.
Yeah.
It's like they jumble in the newspaper.
Yeah, they're like really fucking good at it though. The cryptographers reported that it would be impossible to provide a satisfactory answer. If the text was an encrypted message, its brevity meant that it had insufficient symbols from which a clear meaning could be extracted, and the text could be the meaningless product of a disturbed mind. A telephone number was found in the back of the book belonging to a nurse named Jessica Ellen Jo Thompson, who was born Jessie Harkness in a Sydney suburb. She lived about 1,300 feet north of the location where the body was found. When she was interviewed by police, Thompson said that she did not know the dead man or why he would have her phone number. And what?
So no one knew the dead man. They didn't know his identity.
Right. And she didn't know why he would choose to visit her suburb on the night of his death. However, she also reported that at some time in late 1948, an unidentified man had attempted to visit her and ask a next-door neighbor about her. So in one breath, she says, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know why he'd be here. Yeah. Oh, but there was some weird guy that nobody knows who was here. In his book on the case, Jerry Feltis stated that when he interviewed Thompson, he found that she was either being evasive or that she just did not wish to talk about things.
Chicks, man.
You gotta love them. Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Can't do murders without them.
What?
I don't know.
Fellows believe Thompson knew the Somerton man's identity. Joe, what's her name? Jesse Harkness. Yeah, Jesse Harkness' daughter, Kate, in a television interview in 2014, said that she also believed her mother knew the dead man. In 1949, Jesse requested that police not keep a permanent record of her name or release her details to third parties, as it would be embarrassing and harmful to her reputation.
Did they ever release it?
They did.
Ah, man, that sucks for her.
The police agreed, a decision that hampered later investigations.
So they didn't at first, but no.
Yeah, and then they just were like, you know what? Fuck her. What was it? She said. So then she says that while she was working in Sydney during World War II, she had owned a copy of the Rubaiyat. In 1945, at the Clifton Gardens Hotel in Sydney, she had given it to an Army lieutenant named Alf. This guy's name was Alf.
Alf
Boxall, who was serving at the time in the water transport section. She stated that after the war ended, she had moved to Melbourne and married, and she had received a letter from Alf.
Willie!
And basically, Alf was trying to get with her.
Oh, yeah.
So, as a result of their conversations with Thompson, police suspected that Alf was the dead man. However, in July 1949, he was found in Sydney.
Not dead?
And the final page of his copy of the Rubaiyat was intact. So he wasn't the dead man.
Which was probably relief to him.
Yeah.
That's always good news.
Yeah.
I yelled Willie because Alf from television fame.
Willie, yeah.
That was
dad's
the guy,
name?
yeah. Willie! He liked cats. Remember he wanted to eat them?
Oh, he ate them.
He always wanted to eat cats.
What planet was he from?
I don't know.
Melmac.
I think that was one of our trivia questions way back when.
Was it?
I think so. Maybe not.
Yeah, it was Melmac.
Melmac.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And what was Alf's name?
Alien life form.
I mean, that's what it said. What was his?
Maybe that was a trivia
What was his
question.
Earth name?
I can't remember that either.
Gordon Shumway.
Oh yeah, that was a trivia.
You got to get up on your Alf trivia, son.
I know. I just know Willie.
Where am I here? Another theory concerns Alf, who was reportedly involved in intelligence work during and immediately after World War II. In a 1978 interview, Stuart Littlemore asked Alf, "You had been working, hadn't you, in an intelligence unit before you met this young woman, Jessie Harkness? Did you talk to her about that at all?" In reply, he says no. And when asked if Jessie Harkness could have known, he replies, "Not unless somebody else told her." When Stuart Littlemore suggests that there may have been an espionage connection to the dead man found in Adelaide, Alf replies with, "That would be quite dramatic, wouldn't it?" So there's a lot of speculation that the dead man that was found was a spy, and
trying to be Alf.
Jesse and this Alf guy had been involved in his death. Is what the speculation is. Years after the crime, or the man was found dead.
Yeah, that's probably a crime.
Flowers began appearing on his grave.
Oh.
Police questioned a woman seen leaving the cemetery, but she claimed she knew nothing of the man. About the same time, a receptionist from the hotel opposite of the Adelaide railway station revealed that a strange man had stayed in one of the rooms for a few days around the time of the death, checking out on, I forgot to change this one, on 30 November 1948. She recalled that he was English-speaking and only carrying a small black suitcase, not unlike one a musician or a doctor might carry. When an employee looked inside the case, he told Harvey he had found an object inside the case that was described as looking like a needle.
Why they looking in cases, man?
November 22nd, 1959, it was reported that one E.B. Collins, an inmate of New Zealand's Wanganui prison, claimed to know the identity of the man. There have been numerous unsuccessful attempts in the 70 years since its discovery to crack the letters found at the rear of the book. including efforts by military and naval intelligence, mathematicians, and amateur code crackers. In 2004, retired detective Jerry Feltus suggested in a Sunday Mail article that the final line, ITT, MT, SAM, STGAB, could stand for the initials of, "It's time to move to South Australia, Mosley Street." The former nurse lived on Mosley Street. A 2014 analysis by a computational linguist strongly supports that theory, that the letters consist of the initials of some English text, but finds no match for these in a large survey of literature. Let me see.
So we got some spy shit going on.
A number of possible identifications have been proposed over the years. An Adelaide newspaper reported the discovery of the body gave the possible identification as E.C. Johnson, about 45. The following day...
Was he a pretty boy?
Well, the following day, he identified himself at the police station. Like, nope, wasn't me, I'm here. Thanks a lot for thinking I'm dead. Nobody ever checks on me.
Jerks.
The same day, another Adelaide newspaper published a photograph of the dead man on its front page, leading to additional calls from members of the public about the possible identity of the dead man. By December 4th, police had announced that the man's fingerprints were not on South Australian police records, forcing them to look further afield. On December 5th, the Advertiser reported that police were searching through military records after a man claimed to have had a drink with a man resembling the dead man at a hotel in the city. During the drinking session, the mystery man supposedly produced a military pension card bearing the name Solomonson. By the end of all of this, the police had ended up with over, I think, 2,200 possible identifications for this guy. But
like that many people can't be him. You can only be one of those. That's the thing.
Let me see. Decryption of the code was started again from scratch at one point. It had been determined the letter frequency was considerably different from letters written down randomly. The frequency was to be further tested to determine if the alcohol level of the writer could alter random distribution. So, like, they're, like, so good at this that they take into account that maybe the person writing it was drunk.
Yeah.
Which I never would have thought of to...
No.
The format of the code also appeared to follow the specific format of the Rubaiyat, supporting the theory that the code was a one-time encryption algorithm. Copies of the Rubaiyat, as well as the Talmud and the Bible, were being compared to the code using computers to get a base for letter frequencies. Let me see. Where's the thing about the guys? Oh, and so in November 2013, relatives of Jesse Harkness gave interviews to television current affairs program 60 Minutes, and her daughter said that her mother was the woman interviewed by the police, and that her mother had told her she had lied to police.
Oh.
She did know the identity of the Somertan man, and his identity was also known to a level higher than the police force. Her father had...
Jesus?
She suggested that her mother and the Somertan man both may have been spies, noting that her mother had taught English to migrants, was interested in communism, could speak Russian, although she would not disclose to her daughter where she had learned it or why. There's people that are petitioning for an the body to be exhumed and DNA tested.
Yeah, it seems like that nowadays. Maybe they could solve it like that.
The daughter of the woman, Jessie, whatever, thinks it would be disrespectful to the man.
Oh,
he should be left in peace.
Is her mom dead? Because she's not kind of leaving her in peace by like throwing her underneath the bus. Yeah.
So they've never figured out who this guy was. They've never figured out.
But Jesus knows
what the code means.
Yeah.
There's like a story that like sometime I think in the 80s or 90s. There's a story of a guy that was found in the middle of like a field somewhere, and he had been just like beaten to death, and left out in this field to die. and the only thing they found on this guy was a piece of paper with random letters written on it. There's like all these stories throughout like the past few decades of random bodies found with just random lettering written out and nothing else to identify them.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of people that think there's like a spy like ring being hunted down almost, or like some shit at play where there's like two sides.
Yeah.
So yeah, but nobody knows who this guy was or is or anything like that. Just found him randomly on the beach one day.
With all them pockets.
With all of his pockets full of, I don't know. Yeah, he had mismatched cigarettes. So
Matches.
it was like he had just got cigarettes from somebody else.
Yeah.
And like he'd borrowed somebody else's cigarettes, or not borrowed, but
yeah, he's like, hey, bum me some smokes.
yeah, he just put them in the pack he had.
So he's definitely been in contact with some people, and that's so weird about the book being found too.
Yeah, like they found it not
like why wouldn't you think a spy would be better, smart enough?
Well,
to,
and there's nothing in there about
or...
like, so they don't think it's weird that they found the book like in the rear well of a car.
Yeah.
And like they never say anything about they never say anything about like investigating whose car that is or why it was maybe there. So there's a bunch of stuff that like what our podcast is exposing is that in most crimes the police don't really do anything.
No.
And if there's not a letter attached that says, "Hey, my name's Dale and I killed this guy.
Yeah.
Here's my address. Come get me." They don't really ever know what to do.
Nope.
So yeah, I just find
police, man.
It's really interesting that if you start looking into, like coding, there's a ton of examples of bodies being found with like unencryptable codes on them.
I'm gonna carry around the code sheet now, just for when I die, just to fuck with whoever.
I've actually thought.
I'm gonna have your name on it, and then just a bunch of like random, a lot of 6 and 9s. I'll be 420, 6'9". A lot of that. Like, 69, wink.
This guy was just a douchebag.
Is that Jeff from Tiger King?
Yeah, I've actually thought it'd be funny at times to like just carry something on you.
Yeah.
And then if you ever just randomly whatever happens, there it is, and you just maybe that's what this was.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy was just like some drunk,
decided
to kill himself, and was like,
I'm
gonna fuck people on the way out.
Hey, mate. Hey, mate.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. I'm gonna fuck with some people.
I might not even been Australian.
Maybe there's shrimp on the barbie, maybe there's not.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Kangaroos. That's about all I know.
Yeah, all right.
Joe Exotic looked like he'd be from Australia.
Yeah, or Florida.
I'm shocked it didn't happen in Florida. Yeah.
Like Oklahoma, are you sure? What part of Florida is that?
Oklahoma?
Yeah,
okay.
It was, yeah. Carol lives in Florida.
I mean, he's definitely like Florida at heart.
Yeah. Florida through and through.
Alright, so yeah, that's
a good one.
It's just a random
mystery.
Yeah. It's just one of those random things.
So we figured it out. That guy was just a dick.
I think that's what it was.
He just wanted to fuck with people.
I think it was just some dude that decided, you know what? I'm done with this life.
Yep. I'll put this book here. I'll put the note in my pocket.
One day, two jackasses are going to talk about this.
They'll be middle-aged and mediocre. Hey, you want to do Would You Rathers?
Yeah, I always would.
Okay. I've spent a lot of time on these out in the car right before I came in.
Did you? All right.
So.
I like that we prepare so well.
Yeah, you do and I don't.
I didn't for this one very well.
I just wanted that demolition high. I got it. It's good. All right. Would you rather eat a box of dry spaghetti noodles or 2 cups of uncooked rice?
I feel like I've had this question asked to me before. Randomly, not in like a structured manner, but just asked.
Dry spaghetti or uncooked rice?
Kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I ate raw rice once. I was so high. That's all that I had in my room because I had my phone in there that got wet, so I had it in this container to dry out, and the container's still there. But I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to use some rice. Well, and I ate a bunch of raw rice.
Then you can answer it. Or you can answer when I ask this then. It's kind of just like eating... what's the cereal? Like Rice Krispies?
Yeah, it's a lot harder though.
A lot crunchier?
Yeah. It's kind of like eating rice, like breaking up a rice cake and eating little tiny pieces, maybe.
I think I'll go with that one though.
The rice, yeah.
What's the other option?
Dry spaghetti. A whole box of dry spaghetti or 2 cups of uncooked rice. 2 cups is a lot too, though.
That's a lot.
But if you break up a box of spaghetti, it's
That's
gonna
like
fill. It's gonna fill up more than
cups.
2 cups. Yeah, so I'd go to rice.
Yeah, rice.
Yeah.
Either way, no, thank you.
Unless you're high, there's nothing
Even
else.
then,
to
I've
eat.
never been that
Mike
high
still,
in
my
life.
cousin Mike still gives me shit about that. Me eating uncooked rice. All right, next one. Would you rather have hands that kept growing as you got older, or feet that kept growing as you got older?
I think that already happens. Or maybe like the rest of you shrinks.
Well, if you could choose,
Hands that get older.
Hands
Hands
that
that get bigger.
Yeah.
Because shoes you have to keep buying.
Yeah, you have to keep feet. If your feet
Hands
get
are just
bigger.
whatever, unless you're like really into gloves.
Yeah. Unless you're really into gloves. That's what I'm going to do when I get older, too. I look forward to it.
My whole life, I've just been a glove collector. And now, these deformed hands of
keep
mine.
growing.
Also, it'd just be cool to have like giant fucking hands all of a sudden.
Yeah, it would be cool.
For, you know.
Then you couldn't take your pills and stuff. You'd be trying to take your pills and your fingers all big.
Well, that's what you have the nurses for.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. All right. So hands. Hands was the answer. Okay, would you rather not be able to open any closed doors, locked or unlocked, or not be able to close any open doors?
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you'd just be stuck in whatever room you're in, right? Unless you can get somebody to open it for you.
Yeah, unless you get someone to open it. Or, I mean, if you cannot close, you cannot close doors. You can go anywhere you want. You just can't close the door afterwards.
Yeah, but then everybody has access to me.
That's what you
Yeah,
want.
no, I'll just...
Everyone's going to have access to you because they got to let you in.
If I want them to, though.
They'll stay out in the
I
woods.
just stay...
You're like, fuck doors.
No, I'm totally cool. But if I can just be in one room when this starts,
Yeah.
I'll just stay in that room.
All right. So you're going to go with the first one.
Yeah.
You'd rather not be able to open any closed
Yeah,
doors.
whatever. I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
In
You're
this
there.
world
That's
now...
pretty much what we are right now.
Yeah, in this world now, safer just stay in one place.
Yes, it is. I'm not leaving either, though, okay? I'm right here with you, buddy.
You gotta get the fuck out. So, all right. So you ate dry rice.
Yep.
Whatever. What's the? I don't know if I weirdest or whatever. But what's the like most ridiculous shit you've ever eaten?
Other than raw rice?
Like what's like that thing like something you did one time when you're high that you like look back on and you're like, God, that was disgusting.
Oh, man. It would have to be the raw rice. I mean, honestly, that's probably the worst. Because the other things are just like 3 peanut butter sandwiches at midnight, which no one needs that.
No.
I'm just trying to fill myself.
I'm trying to think. A couple years ago, I ate something. I'm trying to think of what it was, though. That the next day, I remembered I did it.
Yeah.
And it was, like, disgusting. Not in disgusting of, like, it was a gross thing to eat.
Yeah.
But just a disgusting thing that, like, a human would consume it. I can't remember what it was now, but it was, like, a combination of 2 foods. Because I couldn't decide which one I wanted.
Yeah, so you just did both.
And I was so fucking high. And then I was just like, I'll just combine them, man. And it was just...
You started pizza and pineapple, didn't you?
No.
Oh,
what?
good.
No, this was like... I know steakums were involved. Which right there. Like, I love steakums, because that's just like eating like a...
What are steakums again? Like little
like-
steak sandwiches, shredded?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you know the meat you get for like a
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak or
Yep.
whatever? It's like that. But I know it involved that. Like, it's because I wrapped them, and like I used something to wrap them.
Oh, like a tortilla
The
shell?
other thing,
Or...
it wasn't. I mean, it was way worse than that. Whatever else it was like those 2 things should not have been combined.
Yeah.
It was too much fucking food, but I ate all of it.
Oh.
So yeah, it was disgusting in that way.
My ex one time was making no-bake cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, well, you eat peanut butter on sandwiches. Can you eat no-bake cookie mix on sandwiches? And I was like, no. And she tried it anyway, and it was the worst thing ever. Because you have the oats plus the bread.
Right.
And then chocolate and peanut butter. And it was a bad
Because
move
no-bake
on-
cookies are delicious.
Yes, they
But
are.
they've got to sit.
But don't put it, don't just mix
Yeah.
the stuff and then put it on bread, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And don't eat raw rice.
I can't think it'd be... I don't know how you, like... I get that you're high,
Yeah.
but...
It was just there. There's nothing
That's
else.
not, it's not even filling.
No. And like I used it to like dry my cell phone. It got wet, so
So
it's like a
you-
Tupperware container full of rice.
Oh.
And I just let's eat half of it and see how I feel.
Like, you would have been, like, ahead to try to, like, get some of the moisture out of your phone and, like, at least eat the moisture rice.
Yeah, the rice has been
Add a
like
little water on
kind of cooked like that. Light it with the lighter. You live, you don't learn.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna
So,
eat some
all
rice
right,
right
well,
now.
Yeah, now, man.
Raw.
I'm craving some
Raw
dry
rice.
rice.
Dry rice. Drice.
Some drice. That's you know what, man? The where we're headed, it seems like
Yeah.
drice might be a delicacy before too long.
All right, we just coined that. We solved the mystery and created Drice.
That's what we do here.
Yep.
It's what we do.
I'm gonna make a diet Drice though.
How much more diet is brown rice?
Don't be racist.
Oh, I'm sorry. I like to apologize to the brown rices. All right. Well, that's it. If the world still exists in a week, we'll be back.
I hope so.
It probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll just be worse than what it is now, probably.
Cool.
So I'm very positive about all
Yeah.
this. No, like, there's too many professionals in the health field that keep saying everybody needs to quit being, like, they're not saying, like, everybody needs to quit being positive, but everybody needs to quit just going, like, well, this is going to be over soon.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, look, we really don't know what this is yet, and we don't know how long this is going to take. So everybody needs to be in for a long haul here. And I think there's too many people trying to skip to the end.
Yeah. They still
And
want
it's
it.
going to make it worse and extend it. So, yeah, I don't know. Everybody stay
What do they
safe
say
out
about
there.
podcasts? Should we be recording right now?
Yeah, next week I'm going to have a big glass divider between us.
You've been talking about that for a while.
It'll be like
though.
we're in prison.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, which I've always wanted to have a prison conversation.
I'll bring the cigarettes.
Okay.
We'll trade them.
You have to sneak them in your butt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then,
Cool.
cool.
That's how I'm taking the demolition home. Just shoving them up there, all three.
Oh, God.
Give me a second. Ah! All right, they're up there.
All right, Joel Exotic.
I'm real
Got
exotic
anything
now.
else?
No, it was supposed to be wrestling tonight.
There
That
was.
kinda
Yeah, so that
sucks.
was supposed to be the March Radness.
Yep, I
wrestling
should be
session.
ring announcing here in about 2 hours, an hour or so.
Doors would have opened 20 minutes ago.
Oh man, I'm bummed about that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's all get.
There's nothing.
Let's all heal up. Let's beat this. Let's beat this virus, guys.
You know what I want to go do?
Stay home, and then I can ring announce again. Yeah.
I want to here before too long, get a baseball bat and some baseballs, and just go out and hit some balls.
We can do
You know
that.
what I mean? Just hit some dingers.
We can do that down in Mike's backyard.
Yeah.
We got baseball. We got everything there. You don't even need to. We got 2 gloves, bat, and balls.
Hit them into the river.
Well, we hit them up towards the houses.
That makes sense.
But we
too.
can hit them towards the rivers too, and the highway and stuff.
I mean, that way you're not breaking windows.
Cool. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Just don't get hit in the dick.
I cannot make promises.
Okay. Don't hit me in the dick.
Cannot make promises.
Ah, shit.
Look, man, when I hit a baseball, it's going one place only.
The dick.
And that's to the dick. All right, we're out.
Your mom's a baseball.
I told you to quit telling people that.